I'm Mark Cohen. I'm with Audeze Headphones, and I'm here to talk about our new carbon electrostatic. And this is actually where it came from. Definitely something for the truly fashionable audiophile, right? Now, this was developed for use with MRI machines, hence this really weird appearance. And being in an MRI machine, we actually have to have a fiber optic cable because you cannot use copper wire near a fiber optic, near an MRI machine. So if you ever saw that movie Venom, and they turn the MRI machine next to Venom and he goes like this, well, you can't use copper near an MRI machine. Now, to develop this, we were actually contacted by the UCLA Department of Neuroscience because they were looking for a headphone to use inside an MRI machine. They wanted to be able to play soothing or comfortable music for the patients while they were in the MRI machine to make them more calm and to get a better MRI test result. The MRI machines work with such small voltages that if the patient moves any time during the test, that negates the test and they got to do it again. And if you've never had an MRI test, let me tell you, there's no such thing as a 5-minute MRI test. You're using these machines between like 30 minutes to 60 minutes. And they make a terrible racket. It sounds like there's a jackhammer going bam, 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 bam right next to you. And it cycles. And you're in the machine for, like I said, 30 to 60 minutes while this is happening. So they could not use regular conventional headphones. They contacted a number of companies and no one could come up with a product they could use inside an MRI machine. They came to us and it took us a couple of years, but we came up with a new design of electrostatic driver. And this is the driver film. It's between two sets of plexiglass for display so the film doesn't wobble all over the place. But what we found is a way to take a polymer film and inject, or how can I say, schmooze carbon nanotubes throughout the film.
So
It's almost as though you're watching some baking show on the Bravo channel, and Bobby Flay was there, and he had some KitchenAid appliance, and he had some melted polymer film in the bowl, and then he was able to fold in carbon nanotubes. That's kind of what we do for this. And what really surprised us is that there are millions of carbon nanotubes in this film, and yet it looks almost perfectly clear. You'd normally expect it would be at least gray or dark gray, right? So this is a patented film that we use for the MRI machine product. And this turned out so well that we actually decided to go ahead and make a consumer version of the product. And that's why we now have the carbon, as this gentleman is listening to over here. Say hi to the camera.
Ask the one.
All right.
Very cool.
Now, for more technical info, that runs at 580 volts. Whereas the medical device version, this runs at about 1,000 volts. So this has greater dynamic range than the typical consumer electrostatic, but it has to have the wider dynamic range and increased volume for the volume output of the MRI machine. That's
Very
it.
cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.